Doing the Miyagi. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Mortgage Coach Friday Mastermind. I am super pumped about this call, not only because we have so many amazing minds on this call, but it's a big news week in the mortgage and real estate space. One, Zillow stopped the iBuyer program, and I don't think that's news for anyone tuning into this now. It's all over social media. Everybody's putting their spin around it. My goal is always for the mortgage coach community is whenever there's mortgage or real estate is in mainstream news and or there's chaos, there's opportunity. So how do we turn that news, that shift in the market from a major player into pure opportunity for every mortgage coach? So that's what today is all about. We're also going to be debriefing a bit on the Modern Real Estate Summit because there was a lot of content and ideas that came out of that can help with today. So quick introductions. We got Todd Bookspan, CEO and founder of Win by Noon, and the co-host of the Modern Real Estate Summit. What's up, brother?
It was so much fun to get to spend time with you over in San Diego and Deborah over there. And, most importantly, it was just really great that we had such positive feedback and that really, I think the content we had was the best we've ever had. And I feel like, in the end, the people who took action are getting great results. And that's what I really love to see our community do.
Yeah, no doubt. It was amazing. We also have Deb Bird, who is the social media strategist and media agency for the Modern Mortgage and Modern Real Estate Summit, and for over 100 of the top loan officers or mortgage coaches. She also helps manage a bunch of social media channels. What's up, Deborah?
Good morning, including Tammy as a new client.
Oh, good.
So, yeah. Yep. She's now a rock star. So welcome, Tammy. Welcome to the club.
So Deborah, you, myself, and Todd, think of us as we're the facilitators of this call. And then we've got a couple experts. We have Robert Stover, who, gosh, Robert, I don't know if you know this, but there's been a number of years now where your interviews have been the top 10 in the mortgage coach community. Wow. But Robert and I have a 25-year history. He's a marketing consultant that I've paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to. When I founded Mortgage Coach, he really helped set the strategy. And I don't know where Mortgage Coach would be if Robert didn't help with marketing strategy. And now we go in and out on projects together. But in my mind, he's one of the best marketing minds, not just in mortgage and real estate, in America. What's up, Robert?
How's it going, Dave? Thank you.
So you're going to provide some color along the way. And then we got Bill Hillstad. He's a legend now in the mortgage coach space. If you want to boost anything on any social media channel, if you want to turn social media into a competitive advantage and get engagement, get distribution, build audiences, no one is smarter than Bill. So Bill, as we bring on these two top producing mortgage professionals, whenever you hear of here's a way to amplify that, here's a way to blast it up, jump in.
Will do.
All right. And then we got two badass mortgage coaches that I don't know. I know Dan bought 100 tickets and had a watch party in a movie theater. And we're going to bring on Dan in just a minute. And then Tammy, how many tickets did you get? And what did you do? We're going to have you go in the second half, but just really high level. What did you do for the?
I had 50 tickets and a watch party.
Sweet. And I love the
Wow.
post you put. And then guys, Dan Keller needs no introduction. One of the most active leaders in the mortgage coach community, one of the best loan officers, mortgage professionals in America. His goal is that everybody in the market that he serves, every realtor in the market he serves, they know who he is. So Dan, let's bring you on first. Real quick, tell everybody what kind of production you're doing and a little bit about your overall mortgage practice. And then let's get into the Zillow news and into the event.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. First off, great, incredible event this last week. I did what Tammy did. I hosted a watch party at a historic theater. It was really neat. So you guys were up on a. It was, the pictures didn't do any justice. You were on the big screen. It was pretty cool.
We need photos, Dan.
They were horrible. I texted a few to Dave. It was just so dark. But it was just, and And it didn't, my photos from my iPhone didn't do the theater any justice, but the theater is for sale, and the agent. So we had a video crew there filming for the American Dream. So stay tuned, and we'll get some, because we use the Modern Mortgage Summit or Modern Real Estate Summit in the backdrop. So I'll let you know when that episode airs on American Dream, and you'll get to see. It was pretty special, pretty cool stuff. But yeah, great job, you guys. Such great feedback from, I think I told Dave, I had about 37 agents that showed up, and then randomly, because I put it on Eventbrite, we had 5 or 6 people just randomly show up, and 3 of them were lenders. And so I got to meet, and I run a branch. And so this was just really great. They were just like, they couldn't believe that, I'm hosting an event, for real estate agents, and this was amazing. So I think it was a big win for me. So kudos to you guys. Great content, great show. As a mortgage professional, I'm up here in the Seattle marketplace, trying to repeat a record year last year where we did just north of 200 million for my team. And it's going to be tight. We're right at about 183 million right now. So we're going to make a big push November and December to get over that 200 mark. But we help a lot of families. We serve a lot of families, and Mortgage Coach is involved in every transaction, every buyer consultation that we have, whether it be first-time home buyers or move up.
Love it. So before you go, Dan, Deborah, I know you took a lot of notes. You've been crafting the strategy of the Zillow news, all this amazing real estate leadership content. Why don't you just give us a couple minutes of some of your best action items, and then we'll interview Dan around what he's doing and what he's going to do to leverage the Zillow news in the event.
So, anyone who attended the event, and some of the big takeaways was, how are you going to provide value to your real estate partners, even post-event? So I was reflecting on some of the things that, my team did just for you mortgage advisors out there, where we tried to find ways to remove the friction of how to help you get more people to your event. So whether that was helping you create the Facebook event, or creating that badass invitation where you're the rock star in the middle and you have all these, superstar legends of the real estate industry, where it looks like you're hosting this big event. But we had to remove that friction for you guys to be able to take action, because you're doing your day jobs of, putting out fires in the loan business. That how could we step in and provide value to remove that piece? And so I was thinking from a loan officer perspective with the recent news of the iBuyers, and it kind of goes hand in hand with my presentation that I gave about the CMA a Day challenge. And this is where I would have, headline news or hooks that's, this is why a modern real estate advisor is smarter than an algorithm, or this is why there's still a need for an agent in what we do, where experience matters. And as much credit as we want to give algorithms and we think that they can be smarter than us, this big news is a great opportunity to help your agents position themselves in the market, where now more than ever, you need a hyper local expert. But how are you going to get that word out there? And how can you remove the friction or the roadblocks that your agents may experience when trying to figure out how they now position themselves? I think one of the easiest ways to do that is to give them this gift of the CMA a Day challenge. Step 1 would be go through your database, anyone that you've helped buy or sell in between the years of 2011 and 2018. And guys, this is from Tom Ferry, from his summit. I'm literally taking these nuggets from him when he was here, of how to be proactive with your CMA a Day, which at that time he was saying you should be doing 2 a day. So although this is a great challenge that I think we could commit to the end of the year, this was going off of just 1 a day. So be proactive, look at your database, start with anyone that you helped buy or sell. Maybe you can even help put that list together for them if you helped on the buy side. And again, you're looking for anyone between the years 2011, 2018, and show them why you need an expert to give a market analysis, to give out accurate numbers so that they know what their equity position is today. And they're not reading, false news or fake numbers. And that's part of what we do, is provide truth and clarity and transparency while making it very easy to make decisions. So it goes back to what Dan posted, I believe it was yesterday, which was an incredible video he posted on his Facebook page, and I think Dave, you shared it, of this is what separates the champions. And what are you going to do to optimize not only this event, but this big news with Zillow? And how can you consistently put yourself on social so that you capture the mind share of your audience of being that hyper local expert? The other thing I would make sure, this will be my last little nugget, Dave, if you guys don't have a Google My Business listing set up yet, or if your agents don't have a Google My Business listing, that would be mandatory to have done by the end of today. And it does take a little bit, it takes a week where they send you a verification code, but to get that hyper local traction, you got to be on the map. And then you need to get 100 photos listed on your Google My Business page ASAP. And I can give you a cheat sheet if you guys need a cheat sheet of how to set that up with pictures and a very step-by-step how-to. But that would be a video that even, Dan, Tammy, y'all could create as a Friday video that you send out to your agents for your database, email marketing, or you go live and tell them step 1, you need to be hyper local. How do you do that? You got to have a Google My Business listing. Step 2, on your Google My Business listing, you need to make sure you have 100 photos posted. And if they need a cheat sheet of a how-to, just email me. I'll give you my cheat sheet. We can even rebrand it with your info on it if you want. Just email info@plugandplaysm.com. And then equip them, remove the friction, give them this gift, have an accountability session of, let's look at who we're going to call. Like, go ahead and spell it out so you know each day who you're calling, who you're going to offer a CMA to. And guys, this is also for those inexperienced agents.
Hey, Deb.
Yeah.
I do, we got Dan who's going to have to jump off pretty soon. So let's unpack some of your other ideas in a minute. I just want to make sure we get Dan's ideas before he has to leave.
Yes.
So, and do want to remind you guys, we've got this Modern Real Estate Summit Instagram page, and a lot of these posts, you can take and use. Deborah and her team even did this one where they customized it. They said, hey, we'll put your picture in the middle of this to help you promote the event. And we're going to continue to use this Instagram page as a way to give you ideas and strategies as we go. So Dan, let's get after what you're doing. I know one thing you're doing because you already posted what I'd call a leadership video where you told what you're doing, but why don't you real quick, not quick, the next 15 minutes is yours. Tell us what you did, and then tell us what you're going to do to make the most of this Zillow news and to make the most of this content.
Well, I did what 99% of most of the loan officers that I'm connected to on social media didn't do. What they did, you have to understand, like we are in the real estate space and the mortgage space, but our friends and our past clients aren't. So if you go on social media and you're starting to talk about iBuyer, you're starting to talk about Zillow and how, just the hate speech. I saw a lot of lenders and real estate agents just throwing Zillow under the bus. Zillow's a publicly traded company. It's a great company. They have a great algorithm, and we all use their website. Okay, we all go there. I mean, I use Zillow's website. All of our clients do. So the second you start bashing them, you lose credibility. So if you watch that video that I made, I didn't say anything poorly about Zillow other than the fact that I'm in Seattle. Zillow is a Seattle-based company. It's a bummer that they did have to let go of so many people. And I think I'm in the stock market too, and I own a little bit of Zillow stock. So the fact that stock dropped 30% in one day is not cool. So I talked about that. And then what I did, and this is, I've been coached by Bill and I've been coached by Robert, the two gentlemen on this call. They're amazing. And what I did is I used that along with some of the things I've learned with Renee too, to frame. It's so important that you're working with a professional right now. Listen, homeowners, if you own a home, listen to this. We are in the Super Bowl, and then I pulled this away from the Modern Real Estate Summit. I think it was Seth O'Byrne that said this, or Ryan Serhant. We are in the Super Bowl of all real estate markets in the history of the world right now, 2021, 2022. And great athletes, great teams don't make it to the Super Bowl, only the two best. So the best are going to help you win in this market. And so I used Zillow's news, kept it kind of positive, but explained it a little, but I didn't go into too in depth because I didn't want to bore people, but I did provide a link so they could see how CNBC broke down the whole story. But my video was, I use this news, and I forget, Robert, I learned this from you. Is it called like news hacking or something like this? I used a story. Newsjacking. I used a story. And then I provided some commentary in regards to what does that mean to you, my client that owns a house, you, my client that wants to buy a house, and you, my friends who are real estate brokers that follow me. And I got a lot of real estate agents. I think 3 or 4 real estate agents shared it, but a lot of them liked it and a lot of them commented on it because what I said is it's more important than ever that you're working with a pro. And by the way, I know a lot of pros in the marketplace. So if you'd love an introduction, let me help you with that. And so that was my spin, Dave, on the news. I kept it somewhat positive. I think we need to keep things positive as mortgage professionals. I think the second you start, talking trash about other companies or certain things, you lose credibility.
So guys, let's all be quick, 1 minute or less. I'm going to give my first 1 minute on that. I think it's all about what should we do? Like if you're a consumer, now is a great time to meet with a local real estate expert and have them assess the value of your home and come up with a creative name. Don't call it a CMA a day. Deborah will give you a couple of creative names when it's her turn after Dan's on. But get out there if you're, get your real estate agents doing CMA days. And in mortgage professionals, you need to do move up analysis. We need to help families have clarity around what it means to move up. Robert, any quick ideas or comments from what Dan said?
Yeah, so we're in an unprecedented, like you said, the Super Bowl of all things. It's also the Super Bowl of chaos and confusion for consumers. And they're scared. They don't know what's going on. I'm just thinking of our neighborhood, what's going on. And we'll get into it later when it's after Dan's off. But there's an unprecedented opportunity where people's minds are opened like they've never been opened before. And people are craving authority. All of this and everything going on, they are craving an authority to step in and say, here's how you make sense of this. Here's what your things were. Here are opportunities and strategies that you could do that you couldn't do 2 years ago. And they're thinking of all these things. Like in our neighborhood, people are either selling, cashing out, moving to another state. We're in California market, or they're the double downs and they're remodeling and redoing it. All of those conversations are going on without them talking with a realtor. I've got a realtor on one side of me. I've got another family on the other side of me. The other family, it's a multi-generational household. I know their kids are looking to buy a home. I know they're looking to buy, the parents are looking to buy investment properties. The realtor on the other side of me doesn't know that. And so there's somebody needs to step in, and we'll talk about some of the strategies where we can step up and use all of this newsjacking and attention and chaos to become an authority and really expand our network beyond our client database.
Love that stuff. I wrote down, people crave authority and leadership, especially in time of confusion. Bill Hillstad, quick minute on anything Dan said, any suggestions? You're on mute, Bill.
I muted myself. Construction. Sorry, Dan, you got to call me because I love what you just laid out with the educational piece. When you're putting content out in the social universe, there's ads, and ads are super simple and straightforward. There's only one way to know what your home is worth, and the algorithm isn't it. Call me for a CMA. Super simple. Boom. That's an ad. What Dan's talking about is consideration content or screening content. When you put up a video that's talking about what does all of this mean, and you push that out to a lot of people, and somebody watches that for a minute or 2 minutes, when you get those big long views, you've got somebody that is seriously contemplating this and what it means to them, and should they buy, should they rebuy, what should they sell. That consideration kind of post that identifies somebody who is serious. So I look at some of your posts up here, Dan, that have well over 1,000 people that watch the entire video, and your videos are long. Somebody that does that is serious. You put up that video you're just talking about, I would personally go put 10,000 views on that, grab the 1,000 or 2,000 people that watch the whole thing, and then I would make sure that they're seeing more content or an ad. But that kind of content is the greatest screening opportunity in the world. When I say there's only one way to know if you're getting the best mortgage, it's a TCA. And then I explain what a TCA is in that video. I'm not trying to just get people to click. I'm trying to look at who's consuming this content. And when you guys start creating content like that, and then screening those people that are watching it, and then you back it up with, I can't wait to see what Deborah comes up with from a post and ad kind of standpoint. There's no beating it. And when I watch Dan talk for a minute, I'm a fan. I am now a fan. He just added thousands of fans into his database. So I think this is an insane opportunity to do what Robert was talking about. Go out there and newsjack, re-report the news with your own spin, point to some other things, and then collect all those people that are watching you who believe you're an authority, because to them, you are an authority. Now you got them in a database.
So Dan's got to leave in 5 minutes, guys. Deborah, right after Dan goes, we're going to let you go next and then bring it back to you, Todd, for taking action. And then Tammy will bring you on stage at about halfway into the call. So Dan, I do want to do you tell me if you agree with this, call it 4 steps. And then I want to know what you're going to add to it. So 1, do the leadership video and turn it into a post. So there's a video version, a post version. Promote it. If there's ever a time to promote something on social media, this is the time. Tell your realtors to do the CMA a day and get as many realtors creating 3 CMA a days. Make sure they understand that you're doing total cost analysis and that you're willing to put a move up analysis on their CMAs to help them get more listings right now, because they're going to be having more assessments. And then Dan, tell me so I'm going to want validation on those 2 ideas. And then the last idea, the 4th idea is, hey, this show's not over. Like, we're going to have all the content in the show, and you could pick the 3 or 4 presentations you like the best and do a custom show. Like next week, the following week, on Wednesday of next week, you could do a 1 hour visit where you do your own custom show. So what are your thoughts on all 3 of those ideas? And then anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think a couple of real quick nuggets. So I met with my office manager day before yesterday, and we built out our marketing calendar through the rest of the year relative to using the Modern Real Estate Summit. And basically what I'm going to do for my Coffee with Keller events every Friday through the end of the year is I'm just going to take 1 video. So Ryan's video, Deb's video, the list, I have the roster, and some of the shorter ones we might double up, but that's going to be our lesson plan. Coffee with Keller. I'm going to play this, and then we're going to coach around it. And that's kind of how I ran the event the other day. Is I was able to pause and then go back and kind of coach on a couple of 2 or 3 of the lessons based off of their ahas. So I said, hey, what were a couple of real big ahas? And people raised their hand. One of the ahas, and this is great, and it got a good conversation going, was a couple of real estate agents were like, I really love this CMA thing paired up with this whole TCA, whatever this TCA is. So I think it was Deb that was talking about that. And they were like, I'd love to learn more about that. And so at that particular time, I got to discuss that talking. And then Seth O'Byrne was talking about, before that, I think it was Seth or Sirhan, was talking about standing out. So if a seller is interviewing 3 real estate brokers to list their house, and you happen to be one of them, and you pair up your numbers, your CMA, with your lender's professional mortgage coach, total cost analysis, and their move up presentation, you're going to stand out. You've just differentiated yourself. And so I think that was really big. That was a big takeaway, but that's one of the things I'm doing following the summit. I wrote down a couple of notes that I wanted to share with you guys today from the summit. I think this is really big as I wrap up today. And I forget who said this. I think it was Ryan, Sirhan, or Seth, but he was like, or maybe Mitchell, there's 3 things right now that every seller wants to know. There's 3 things. Number 1, why now? Number 2, I've nowhere to go, so what do I do? And then number 3, why you? And I think if you, as us, as mortgage professionals, can get this in front of our real estate brokers and just say, hey, I got to sit down last week with a dozen of the best real estate agents in America, not in Seattle, in America. I paid to attend this mastermind. And I got to learn from the #1 real estate broker in America that there's 3 things. They do thousands of transactions a year. There's 3 things right now that sellers want to know. Why now? Cool, but I have nowhere to go. And then number 3, why you? And explain those. And if you can answer those with clarity and conviction, you're going to stand out and you're going to win the deal. And so I love what he said about why now. And he said, that's when they started talking about the Super Bowl of all markets. Take your money and run right now. This is a rare opportunity, an opportunity that we may never see in our lifetimes again. Cash out, take your money and run. And then the follow-up question is, cool, but I have nowhere to go. And then I loved their spin on it was, cool. So that means you have options. So how would you as a real estate agent, and as a lender, how do you answer those questions? Yeah, I'd love to sell, but I don't have anywhere to go. There's no inventory. Put a positive spin on it. Well, cool. That means one thing. You have a lot of options then. And so I wanted to leave you guys with that. If you did not get a chance to watch the summit, if you're a lender, go in. If you can still purchase tickets or buy the pass, do that and use these as trainings for your real estate brokers, for your lunch and learns. And I'm telling you, there's so much value there. And you guys made me look so good this last week. So I want to thank you for that. It was a definite win.
Dan, jump off whenever you got to jump off.
Can I ask Dan a quick question?
Yeah,
go for it.
So Dan, do you think with this news that and again, take the average homeowner or home buyer, could there be a perception that, wow, there's going to be a bunch of homes coming to the market that maybe Zillow bought that I could possibly get a good deal? So if I'm a renter or if I've been waiting, is now a good time to do that, rent versus own, or the cost of waiting with the possible perception of maximizing an opportunity of all these homes coming back to the market that Zillow's got to get rid of?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a couple of people ask about that, and I talked to a real estate agent the other day about that, who sells a lot of homes here in Seattle. And one, you have to understand that their iBuyer program was in just certain marketplaces, but it was also spread across the United States. So yes, it was a lot of homes. Yes, it was a $500 million loss, but it wasn't like it was in Dallas Fort Worth. It wasn't like it happened in Seattle, right? So it's spread across. So I'm one of those other marketers too, that I'm not one of those guys that's going to go out and breed a bunch of fear and make people feel scared, or, hey, you got to do this or you're going to miss out. That's just not me and my style. And so the spin that I'm going to take on this with buyers is my message that's been super consistent for the last year. Your deal is not the property. Your deal is the interest rate. And I use Mortgage Coach total cost analysis to show them that if you wait, that $800,000 house today at 3% is going to cost you $575 more a month if you wait 6 months and rates are at 4.625. And so I'm taking more of that spin versus the scarcity that, hey, all these homes are now going to flood the market and there's going to be foreclosures, because up here in Seattle, that's just not going to be the case.
I wasn't meaning foreclosures, just maybe opportunity for a renter that could get a good buy.
Yeah.
So we got to get Tammy on. We've got some other folks. I want to make sure I let Dan go. Hey Dan, one favor. Do you think you could create a 5-minute, or just, it could be 6, 7, but a short video on Dan Keller's cost of waiting with agents? So if you were gonna kind of pitch agents on your cost of waiting, and it's more of a lesson for the Mortgage Coach community. So you're really giving this lesson to our community on how you would do that. And if you could include the link to the TCA, and I'd love to get that in the channel and get that in here. We don't have time to do it now. If I had time, I would just say, let's roll. But would you mind creating a 5-minute video or so?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So Dan, you can leave whenever you got to leave. I'm going to give, I know Todd is doing a CMA Day Training in the Win by Noon community. Todd, why don't you share what you're doing coming up? Todd, you're on mute.
Oh, I thought you meant like coming up after Dan was gone. All right. No, super excited. I put a link actually down on Facebook and over in the Zoom chat. You know, Deborah and I have been leading a Monday afternoon CMA a day, TCA day call. It's great for you. It's great for your real estate agents. We've had Jimmy Burgess on there. We've had Glenn Bills. We've had some great real estate agents also come on and give their 2 cents. And we just love you to be there, right? It's a great way for a little bit of accountability. We host it and we stream it live over in the Win by Noon user mastermind group. All of you as Mortgage Coach Productivity Mastermind members are invited to be part of that group, whether you're a subscriber to Win by Noon or not. But, you know, I want to reiterate, I think what Dan said there at the end, and I think it's the biggest takeaway that's different between you and our community and all the realtors. I don't think I saw any positive real estate agent posts about the Zillow news, right? So I love how Robert calls it news jacking. And all I saw was, ha ha, I'm smarter than they are. I told you this 3 years ago, from real estate agents trying to prove how smart they were versus the educational side of it that Dan took. And so I would encourage you to think about what Deborah started it with earlier about the CMA a day and how you can help your clients. I would rename it. She'll give you her name for it. Because again, just like they don't know what a TCA is, they don't know what a CMA a day is. You have to give them that because you've got the curse of knowledge, and then help your real estate agents gain traction as we head through this year. And I love the fact that Dan's going to spend time every Friday reusing the content from the Modern Real Estate Summit to help his agents with that journey.
Love it. So well, I guess we'll go to Stover first. And then guys, we got to get Tammie on stage to share her story and her strategies. But Robert, anything you want to make sure people pulled from what Dan shared, some of the ideas I shared, any marketing strategy tips?
Yeah, I do. I want to talk about an active versus a more passive approach. But maybe let's get Tammie up, and then I'll come back on that.
Okay, cool. So yeah, let's do Tammie, and then both Deborah and Bill, you'll have a chance to give your ideas for both a combination of Tammie and Dan. So Tammie, you heard what Dan did. First of all, why don't you tell everybody what you did, and then tell everybody what you're gonna do to make the most of both the event and the Zillow news.
Okay, so what I did do was, let me back up a little bit. Last time we did this in April, I bought everyone a ticket and I let them watch it on their own. And then I didn't really have a way to follow up with them. So some people, I couldn't get the mastermind going. I couldn't keep them sticky to me. So this time what I did was I had a watch party and I gave them the tickets after the party. So, and there were a lot of people who said they couldn't come, but I wanted it to feel very exclusive. So I gave the tickets to them after the party so they could go back and watch what they wanted to watch. And then the people who couldn't attend, I wanted them to kind of feel like they were missing out on something. So I've since been able to say, hey, I've got a few extra tickets here, you know, and now I've been asked to do an encore presentation. So I'm going to be doing an encore presentation. And this is also on the heels of my 13-week CMA a day challenge that I started back in August. So now we have finished the 13 weeks. And this is a perfect, like it sets the table perfectly because now I have enough content to keep my, you know, the 175 agents in that group engaged with talking about this and turning it more into a mastermind. So that's what I did. And that's kind of where my plan is and where I'm going with it.
You guys, make sure you check out her post. And I mean, it was amazing how many real estate agents were asking you to help with the CMA a day.
It was so nice because I had the Zoom chat going and they would talk about a TCA and make sure your lender is a mortgage coach. And they would like 3 of them. Are you a mortgage coach? And I'm like, yes, I'm a mortgage coach. And it got to the point where like, as the program went on, I'd be like, yes, I know how to do that. Yes, I could create that for your buyers. Yes, I could create that for your sellers. Yes, I know how to do that. And they, you know, so it really, I'm so grateful because you guys made us look so valuable. And so, you know, Todd Duncan talked about it. I literally wrote that script down word for word. I'm going to type it out and make sure my agents have it. I had 3 agents say to me after the event that, you know what, this buyer is working with someone else, but I'm going to use that script I learned today and have them talk to you for a second opinion. So 3 buyers that I have appointments to talk to them today. So it was so good.
So if you were going to do a custom show, so like another show, and use the Zillow as kind of the headline and bring a bunch of realtors in, what would be the 2 or 3 or 4, what would be the presentations you'd want to have for your next show?
Yeah, I gotta say, here in Connecticut, we're not seeing a lot of these iBuyers yet. Usually it starts west and works its way east. So we're not seeing a lot of this. The biggest news that we've had with Zillow is that Zillow became a broker and now they're on the MLS. So that was the biggest thing that kind of gave our agents a little bit of fear, but we haven't seen a lot of iBuyers. So in my world, it's not really anything that they're concerned with at the moment. I agree with what's been said before, though, is that they tend to look at it like they're glad to see Zillow fail. But I'm more of Dan Keller's philosophy, where I try to keep things positive. Everybody's trying to make a living. And you know what? The iBuyer may serve a purpose. I've read a couple of like Wall Street Journal articles and New York Times articles about the intent. And in some cases, it makes sense why someone would want to use an iBuyer. But again, it makes sense that there's going to be some people who want to get their mortgage from an internet bank and not someone like me. There's going to be percentages of people. Everybody's going to have their hole. Everyone's going to have their spot in the game. It's how much of the market share do you want to capture? And that is where we have to kind of stand out. Like, don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Just focus on your lane and what you're going to do and how are you going to stand out.
Got it. Now, what are the 2 or 3 presentations that you would love to have a custom show built around?
Well, the one thing, Todd Duncan's was, who doesn't love Todd Duncan? But where he talked about the 4 C's, he talked about getting the second opinion. Who have you met in the I watched his YouTube video last week where you guys interviewed him, took 5 pages of notes and wrote that down. And now it's because I find that the biggest struggle realtors have is they don't know how to refer us. They don't know how to introduce us. So he gave 3 really good clips so that's probably going to be my first one. And then Ryan talked about adjusting your business for success and how to generate leads and where to get the leads from, and not to focus on the things you can't control, appraisals, in-laws opinions, you were outbid by someone else. He talked about locking down the financial plan ahead of time. So those were the 2 that I absolutely loved. I got so many notes, I don't even know.
So you got to have a couple, call it core pillar pieces of content that are going to get agents, and
Those are definitely going to be my top 2.
And then you also want to make sure they learn mortgage strategies. So you want the mortgage coaches in there. We had 3 mortgage coaches.
Amber was phenomenal. Loved her. She talked about, I didn't write down what, I think she had the move up buyer. Yes. A lot of people loved that and asked me if I knew how to do that. So I'm going to be those are going to be my one-to-many presentations that I'm going to add to Lender Launchpad so they can see how that's done too. So yeah, that was great. Actually, all the loan officers who gave their spin, I want to imitate what they did. It was good.
Okay, cool. So Deb, it's been a bit for you, and we have another 20 minutes. So any recommendations you want to give, any questions you have for Tammie or anyone else on the panel?
No, I think, Tammie, another idea I would do when you set your next meeting, and since you're doing the CMA Day Challenge, I think this is a great time to pull in the emotional draw of, and I just wrote this down, if you did a content day for your agents where they could come in and maybe they're farming a particular neighborhood, right? They're the Incredible Hulk of that pond, so to speak. How could you create an emotional, connected video that is something in the lines of, unless you've spent time on our sidewalks in X neighborhood, it's difficult to price a home, and making it a spin off of why the algorithm isn't a substitute for a hyper local experienced real estate agent. You've got to emotionally draw them into the neighborhoods And then there could be micro content created of this is why, like educate them. These are the problems that we solve as agents and why we do a certified equity assessment, which was the name that we used in the Modern Real Estate Summit. Of, when you have this neighborhood.
Guys, pause real quick. I just want to make sure that no one ran by that. Like, say the name again.
A certified equity assessment, which what that is a TCA combined with the CMA delivered, because delivery matters, guys. That's the context. You can deliver a great steak and lobster meal on a silver platter or a trash can lid. Which one's going to taste better? Okay, so delivery is part of the packaging. And you use Lender Launchpad. When you use Lender Launchpad, that is when you can call it a certified equity assessment, because you're using that high-tech delivery of combining the CMA with a PDF version of a CMA all together on this badass website with your reviews from experience.com. I mean, it's incredible. So certified equity assessment, that's how you can help your agent.
So guys, and remember, we're a community. So we're going to be taking this news, this content, this CMA a day with a mortgage coach and arming you. If there are some other names that you're using that you think are pretty smart and consumer centric, what are they? Like, let's get a whole, here's what mortgage coaches are doing. I'm teaching realtors and working with them on certified equity assessments. But if there's a different name, I'm sure there's lots of great names. Let's mastermind. Put those in comments. If you're listening to the YouTube video, put those in comments. So we haven't heard from Todd. Let's make sure we get some ideas from Todd and some taking action from Todd. What do you got, brother?
I would just do everything they just said to do. I mean, I think that, I think you heard Dan and Tammy, two people. I mean, Deborah and I talked about it on a call last week. We spent a lot of time, or maybe 2 weeks ago, we spent a lot of time discussing how we would set up the viewing day for Modern Real Estate Summit. If you rewatch that, just think about doing what Tammy said she's doing. She's doing an encore presentation and just follow those directions and redo it. So I'm not going to go back through that again, but absolutely, that's a great opportunity. Deborah and I are also committed to be putting out content for you probably on a monthly basis, so that if you're doing like what Dan's trying to do, a weekly conversation with real estate agents, well, we'll give you at least one a month of content that we're pulling from the Modern Real Estate Summit. So all you need to do is go back in your past and you'll be able to loop together what she and I discuss in there. And then, I think in the end, that's what I love about this community. I mean, Dave just said it, we're a community and we all learn from each other. And it's just really easy to swipe and adapt, what we've got going. What would you suggest, Robert?
If I could sit down like with Tammy and Dan, it's like, okay, I've got to increase their business by 30% in the next 4 months. What would I do? This is a philosophy. So with our realtor relationships, we go and we talk to them and we've got, X number, we're farming 10, 20, 30. And basically it's like, hey, do you have a deal? Do you have a deal? Have a nice guy. With Mortgage Coach, you're able to come in and go, hey, look at all these tools that I can help you with your buyers. And so that separates you from the pack. But there's still a passivity of, you have to wait for the realtor to come up with a deal to bring you. And I don't like that, just personally. I want to go out and hunt. And I want to turn Tammy and Dan into hunters. And what I want to do is go after that realtor's database with intention. And I want to go out and I want to work with the realtor. I want to explain to them the incredible opportunities they're sitting on and the number of deals they have in their database they don't even know about, because there's a conversation going on in the head of all of their clients that they don't know about and they don't become aware of until they get a call or until somebody shows up at an open house or something. That's the first visible sign. But the people are already, for example, right now, at least in our neighborhood, everyone's talking about moving. Do I go to another this? Do I go to this? Go to this? Do I remodel? Do I take all those conversations are going on and the realtors are blind to them. So what I want to do is say I'm a lender. I want to go to a realtor and go, look, here's my pitch. Here's all the opportunities in your database. And I have a pre-scripted pitch on this. Here's all the opportunities in your database. Let's create an email, a social media thing, a collab or whatever. And let's go after your audience and teach them about this preemptively. Let's not wait until they call us and then like, oh, I know this great guy that can do a certified equity assessment with you. Let's go out, reach into their databases and go, hey, the market's crazy and there's this opportunity and this and Zillow and a lot of people. I'm working with so-and-so lender and we're creating this certified equity analysis that lets you know, and let's reach out. And then I'd let Dan or Bill and Deborah jump in on how to socialify that versus something beyond just email. But there is a huge, I mean, we're talking, there's a huge number of deals out there on the table in the market that can be actively, preemptively created, where you don't have to wait for somebody to call the realtor and then for the realtor to call you. Bypass all that, reach out and be the first one in. And there's all sorts of marketing studies that if you're the first person in the door to talk with it, you've got a much higher probability of being the one they do the deal with than if they're actively shopping and then they're going, oh, I'm going to get a couple bids. So anyway, that's my thing. It's like, let's set an objective. Like I think Dan wanted to hit he's 20 million off his numbers. How do I hit that by the end of the year? This would be how I do that.
So Robert,
I'm going to speak on behalf of everybody right now and say, can you please give us that script? Because if I was watching this on YouTube, that would be the first thing I'd write. Can you please send us that script?
Yeah, I've actually got a video of it on Vimeo. I'll give Dave the link.
All right, guys, so we will get some Stoverization. Robert, if we were playing Scrabble later tonight, is socialify? Is that legal? Can I do socialify?
I think it's actually socialify.
Okay.
Deborah can comment on that.
New word, guys. So I love Stover's idea. We're going to go out to realtor databases and we're going to email them and we're going to socialify them. Actually use that word when you're talking to agents now. I'm kidding. Anyways, I love that, Stover. That's a huge, big idea. Bill, anything you want to add to the socialification of Stover's idea?
Yeah, you guys can't believe how many notes I've taken from today. One, want to jump on the bandwagon with avoiding the negative. It doesn't make people like you. I'm the database guy. He or she with the most friends wins. Negative people don't have the most friends. Ted Lasso them. Go positive. To me, this isn't bad on Zillow. Technology, anything. The pioneers are always the ones with the ones in their chest. Zillow bravely tried to do this with algorithms. The takeaway for me is algorithms simply can't tell you the value of their home. It's not possible. They don't have the data. The only way to know the value of your home is with a local market expert doing and by the way, I love the certified equity assessment. That to me, real positive, not negative on Zillow. There's only one way to know the value of your home. You push that out there and you're going to have leads coming in like crazy. I'm not the full marketer. I'm not in Robert's ballpark. I don't know loans. I'm the traffic guy. I'm the click guy. I've driven over 800,000 clicks this year. That's what I do. And that's what I smell out of this. I know that there's this whole idea of there's only one way to know what your house is worth. Boom. There's only one way to know if you're getting a smart mortgage, if you're making a smart mortgage decision. Boom. Those to me are click drivers. Those to me are leads. That's going to bring people in that I want to know if I'm making a smart mortgage decision. I want to know what my house is really worth. That's such a great lead magnet. I'm dying to work with a few people and get to run some, because all I do is experiment all day long with everybody else's money and accounts and stuff. And this stuff works. Dave, you introduced me to Rob Tagliarini. He had one realtor partner, loan officer team, you get 4 listings, 17 pre-qualified buyers. They already have 3 of them under contract just in the month of October by doing nothing more than putting out the realtors' listings on Facebook. That's all they did. And people called about the listings and they've got 22 active deals from it in a month. This is so much sexier than a listing. I'm telling you guys, I'm the traffic guy. You've got it all figured out. You just need 10,000 people to see it. You need every realtor to see your conversation on it. I love this. I want to dig in. I feel like we're just at the tip of this. Now I want to dig in and make it work.
So Bill, if I'm a lender and I come to you and I say, Bill, I've talked to realtor into like doing a collab video or a message that we're going to now send to that realtor's social platforms or Facebook or whatever one you're using, how would we do that?
Honestly, one, I teach this stuff all the time for free. You can tap into anything that I put up. I love teaching people how to do it. If you want to run ad manager and Instagram and whatnot, the boost button has become more valid. If you don't want to learn how to do all that, you can just boost. And then my latest foray is I've been setting people up with automatic traffic so that if I want to put up a post and have it hit all 3,000 realtors in my market, know every one of them will see my post no matter what, I just drop a hashtag in a post. And that's been my latest project. If anybody wants to talk about that, so I can just drive my traffic with hashtags. But really, guys, don't be afraid of the boost button anymore. Go to Facebook, put up a post, hit the boost button. You now have targeting options. It's not everything, but it's not bad like it used to be. And know that you're probably going to spend a couple cents for each person who sees your post or watches your video. A lot of factors go into that. Hooks are everything. What's that hook? But hey, put up a post, put some money behind it. And by the way, when we're talking about building a fan base, think about this. I put up a video that's educational about this, about writing a winning offer, about anything. My TCA video, let's say that it cost me 50 cents to get somebody to watch 95% of one of those 2-minute videos. But somebody who watches that, I know they're in the consideration phase of a transaction, and I know they think I'm an authority figure. At 50 cents, if I were to put up $500, I've got 1,000 prospects / fans that are now in my Facebook audience, and they can see every post I ever put up for the rest of time. The math is just too simple. I can't talk to you about content. That's Deborah. But
So Bill,
put it up, you need the
Real
views.
quick, Deborah, before you go, because you're really going to have most of the talk time for this next 9 minutes, Deborah, to give the mortgage coach community your direction from a marketing standpoint. But it sounds like you agree everybody should be doing their news jack leadership video and post. They should be boosting it. Guys, you should be using hashtags. Make sure you put mortgage coach in it. Make sure, if it is relevant to talk about a mortgage strategy like a move up analysis, hashtag move up analysis. If it is a follow-up from the Modern Real Estate Summit, put that hashtag, put in that certified equity assessment, start delivering all the services you can. And then guys, I just want to read this off. You got to be leading agents to do the CMA a day challenge ×3. They should be doing 3 a day right now. You need to be doing the TCA day challenge. You need to be creating content that agents can email and socialify to their customer base. You need to build your own 1 to 2 hour show. So what you heard what Tammy's 2 to 3 videos would be. What are your 2 to 3 that you're going to go out and do education? You need to be doing weekly lessons. You need to be doing monthly strategies. And you already heard Todd and Deborah said that they're going to be giving you a monthly strategy. Deborah, what's missing from that list, or what do you want to put an exclamation mark on? And what direction do you want to give everybody in the mortgage coach community right now?
so with everything that you just said, Dave, and leading agents to doing 3 CMAs a day, and for lenders to do a TCA a day, I wanted to know, Bill, if you would be willing to partner with me on this for Tammie specifically. Tammie is one of my clients. She has been a big advocate for the CMA a day challenge and for the Modern Mortgage Summit and Real Estate Summit. What if we take what Robert said and we were proactive, and let's run an ad for Tammie? So Bill, if you and I could work on that for her, where now she's creating the lead hook where she's giving these leads to her top 4 agents that maybe came to her summit, and we'll document this success because I know she's a win by noon user as well. So she'll be taking good documentation so we can show the effects of this after 30 days. But she's basically creating the lead who wants to know what the real value is of their home.
Yeah,
So could we do
no
that and
idea.
make this? Because I like the part that Robert said of, being proactive, and how, Dave just said, if we want to help the agents do 3 CMAs a day, and this also helps the loan officer do a TCA a day, where you could do the move up buyer, because again, you're going to be targeting homeowners. And I loved your hook. There's only one way to know what your home is really worth, or the only way to know the value of your home. Let's put some ads together for Tammie, and Tammie, you and I can work together on the system and the process of how we can then help bring this back to the community, say in maybe like a 2-week check-in, to see how many leads we've developed for her and how many she's given to her real estate agents who participated in this event. And then we'll dollarize it over time.
Deborah,
What do you
I have
think?
a favor to ask.
I
Your
love
comment.
this idea because I just want to write loans. And if you guys could do the marketing for me, I'll just write checks. That's really what I'm good at.
All right, guys. So Deborah, I have a favor to ask. So
Yeah.
Justin Brown, who had just a fantastic 5-minute must-watch presentation, which Todd let me put in the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel. So it's one of the very, well, there are over 40 plus videos that you can only get in the Modern Real Estate Summit. This Justin Brown video Todd put in the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel. Thank you, Todd. And one of the things that he did is he had these slides that showed these very specific tactics, their headlines, their strategies. Deborah, do you mind when you do this project with Tammie, if you create it, use this similar format? So like, hey, here's the tactic, here's what we're doing, here's the headline, and then also have a TCA link. And here is the actual TCA that's supporting it. Do you mind putting it in that format and making that available? At least, I know a lot of it's your paid customer stuff, but give a few freebies to the community.
Absolutely.
So here's my requirements, because this is going to take a day or two.
Hey, Bill, real quick before you do that, we're going to lose Todd in a minute. We could go a few minutes late.
All right.
Todd, I know you got to jump right on time. Any closing thoughts or win by noon, take action thoughts before you got to jump?
Yeah, you know what? I'll keep it brief because we have such a rock star group, and I'm disappointed. I'm jumping off early. Got to drive my daughter to school, which is very important. She's on time, so I will do that. And I'll just come back and watch this on YouTube. I think the real key, anytime you hear leaders in our community talk about their successes, I think you have to just do a quick inward look. Hey, could I have done that? Why didn't I do it? Right? Because we've talked about it a lot. And then now that they've given ideas of what you can do over the next 50 days until Christmas, right? I mean, Dan's going to push $17 million of purchases to hit his goal, right? Or of loans. And right, don't beat yourself up for what you didn't do. Now just figure out, how do I schedule these things into my calendar so I get them done? And then let's watch and learn what Robert's going to put together with Deborah and Bill for Tammie, and then take action on that, right? I mean, don't sit here and be one of the people who's like, oh, I could have done that too, or I should have done that too, or I can't. Learn from these people. Because that's what we're here doing, right? We're here to help you guys all grow your business. And I'm just always afraid that we're not taking the action. So my encouragement for you is be that person who takes action today. So as soon as we get done with this call at whatever time it is in your time zone, spend the 30 minutes after that saying, okay, what is it I'm going to do? And then schedule it in your calendar, right? Dan's got his coffee with Dan's already scheduled, he said, for the rest of the year. So it's not that difficult to do if you just make it a priority and take the time. And, if there's anything that we can do to help you make that happen, just let us know. But as always, grateful to see so many of my good friends here on the call with us this week, and can't wait to see you guys back next week.
Hey, grab me a t-shirt and I'll give you the money when I see you.
Perfect. Yeah, I am wearing my new Win by Noon
Yes.
pullover from the Win by Noon store. I didn't want to do that, but I will, when I see you next week, I will bring you a t-shirt as a gift. You won't even need to write me a check.
Oh, thank you.
All right, guys. So you heard from Todd. If it's not scheduled, it's not going to get done. Any ideas that you have from this, any creative time that you need, you got to get it scheduled. Bill, I cut you off. What were you going to say, brother?
Oh, I was going to say, I love the idea of doing this project. I wanted to throw out my requirements. If we're going to do it, I want to do it. I want to really do it. Tammie, Deborah, Robert. And the idea behind this is simple. We're going to get on a call in the next few days, first of next week, whatever, walk through and we're not going to put up an ad or a couple ads. When I do marketing, I test dozens of headlines and different ads and different things so that our goal over the next 2 weeks, we're going to do TCAs. I'd like to do TCAs and CMAs.
Mortgage
But
coach.
I can tell you that a buyer lead, I average $300. A listing, I average $340. You want a bank statement lead? I'm right at $9.40. At the end of 2 weeks, we need to know exactly what it costs to get a CMA or a TCA. Because to me, it's all just math. I'm a nerd, but we got to dig into this and do this. And I'll do all the back end traffic analytics split testing, but you guys got to give me a bunch of content and play with me on this. And Dave, you'll be able to literally say, anybody in the community will be able to just take what we create and go, I'd like to do 5 TCAs this week. Oh, I'm running $8.19. I need to put up $42 or whatever it is. And it's that simple. That's our goal.
I love that.
Love
I
it.
think it's amazing. I have no problem coming up with content. I'm great. And then Deborah makes all my content pretty. And if you, Bill, can get it out to the world to see, that would just be the perfect storm for me.
Yep. And the conversions, we're going to make them convert. That's why you guys got to hop on a Zoom with me and let me show you how it's all going to work.
Robert, as we wrap up, and Deborah, I'm going to give you the final words, but any headlines you want to give us or any, closing thoughts you have on today's call?
I was thinking Bill needs some merch like Todd had, and I was thinking like math is sexy or data is sexy shirt. It can be the Bill. It can be Bill's
I
merch.
like that. I want that shirt too.
Nerds are sexy. No.
Yeah. So no, I'm a split testing fanatic, so I love it. My whole thing is the big strategy. It is more a philosophy of being proactive and not just talking to a realtor and waiting for something to come to them, but then taking that realtor's assets and databases and social and preemptively going into their market and then analyze there's different considerations, right? Should I take the money and run? Should I move up? Should I hold and hunker? Should I remodel? Should I invest in one of my kids' homes so they can buy a home? So all of those considerations are going, and they're all different ads, but that they can go into the realtor's email, to their customer list. They can go into the realtor's database. They can go into the realtor's thing, and we're no longer passively just waiting. That's my thought. Got a little excited.
Robert, you got to play with us on this one, man. I've always wanted to do something with you. This would be a blast.
So Deborah, I'll leave it to you to herd those two. It would be great to have some of their headlines, and it would be great to have a call in a couple of weeks unpacking what they did and sharing takeaways. So Deborah, you get the final thoughts.
I want to share with everyone listening right now that it is not too late if you were unable to watch Wednesday. I know there was a lot of loan officers that I worked with who were traveling. You can still access this and still optimize it and make it part of your strategy and build the momentum in 2022. But like Todd said, you have to take action. So this is what separates the champions. Take action, watch the Modern Real Estate Summit, buy the 365-day pass, then plan it. So what I love about my Win by Noon planner is it breaks it down per quarter where you can get real strategic and just plan those big rocks so you don't feel overwhelmed or get that analysis by paralysis. So I just encourage all of you to go back and be a practitioner, practice every day. I think to be the best, you've got to train. And this is now what you can study between the Modern Mortgage Summit and the Modern Real Estate Summit. You have plenty of content to get your practice time in. So do the rest.
So guys, huge opportunity. Real estate is in mainstream media. Make sure you're making lots of calls. Call your past customers, call your real estate agents, and be the light. Bring ideas. Hey, this happened. No attitude, no throwing under the bus. Now this is what you should do, and this is how I can help you. So get out there, guys. Be aggressive mortgage coaches. Please share your success stories like never before. When you come up with good headlines, good angles, put those in the Mortgage Coach Facebook group, and we will continue to make this a topic and we will continue to share those best practices and the things that are working in the days and weeks ahead. So have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you, all the leaders on this call, and for everybody that gave us, God, we got hundreds of people that watch this live. I'm sure we might get 1,000 people that watch this video because it's a hot topic. Thank you for participating in this channel, in this community. Take care, everybody.
Take care. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, everybody.